Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Jump Street Podcast. We're here with another Channel 11. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from, because we're at an earlier time now. It's even different from where you are, Billy, than me. It's morning by you, but afternoon by me.
Yes, it is. It is like the late morning. It's 10 a.m. over here in California, Pacific time, and 1 p.m. over there on the East Coast. And some of our friends in Europe are actually able to watch us now. In England,
Yeah,
it's 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. over there in Spain and Italy. So if you're joining us from overseas, thank you very much. If this is your first time watching this episode or watching Jump Street, please follow us on all of our social media platforms. We have a Facebook, give us a like. We have a YouTube. You can hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. So when we have one of these shows, it gives you an alert. You could join, you could watch us live. And if you don't catch us live, you can comment, you can like, you can share. It's very helpful for us. It gives us a nice boost. We have an iTunes. If you like what you're hearing, you can go to our iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. You can give us a review. It's very helpful for us on that platform as well. And if you want just a little bit more, you can be a Patreon for $3 a month. For your $3 a month, you have access to some of our exclusive content, which are inside outs. Those are our trick tips. We have section reviews with our visiting guests. We do section reviews ourselves. We do trick tips. We do all these little things. Oh, I just said trick tips. We do all these little things, 3 pieces rather, that we do like 3 tricks here and there. I got to go get one pretty soon, actually. And yeah, we just keep adding to the thing. We're trying to add more to it as we go. And you are automatically entered every month for a free drawing for something from our online store. That could be a hat. It could be a shirt. It could be a mug. We have many things. So
there we go. There's some of the things right there.
Yes. So if you like what you're hearing, you can be a Patreon. So that's my spiel.
That's your spiel. Along those lines, we have new Patreon members I need a shout out for this episode. Thank you for your support. Jason Carnival, Martin Now, Alec Nuno, and Zenji Rusina. And as Billy mentioned, you're entered for our monthly giveaway, which we are about to do right now. So perfect timing for all of you to join in our Patreon. So here we go right here. We have the new wheel this time too. We're going to click it to spin all 320-ish of you here. So let's see who the winner is for this monthly giveaway. We have JP. I wonder if this is Buttered TV JP or not. I guess we could find that out later. But congrats, JP, whoever you are. You can win something from our online store. We'll reach out to you. And thank you, everyone else, for supporting our Patreon. It means a lot to us. We also have a WTF this week, which is along the Patreon vibes, brought to us by Patreon supporter Helton Brazil. So thank you for supporting us at our top tier. We have Sasha Sims, actually, this week's WTF. Billy, you know this one too. The topsoil on a P-rail box to, what would you call that, cartwheel the true fish brain? I never seen one of those before.
Yeah, that's a cartwheel for sure.
Topsoil cartwheel true fish brain. Super unique. I've never seen anybody incorporate, like, we've seen parkour before, but this is like straight up gymnastics into skating.
Also, what is this spot?
It's like a box in the grass.
Is there no pavement around?
I didn't notice that before, but yeah, he has a piece of plywood on each side of the box for a run up and a landing.
This guy's just determined to skate. He's like, we don't have any pavement, so I'm going to put 2 pieces of plywood, build this. It's awesome.
That's like Ilya Savoysin in Russia. He skates like same thing, but just with snow on the ground, like in the woods, on the dirt, on the grass with snow on the ground, and he makes it work either way. If you got to skate and you're determined, you'll make it happen. But congrats.
Sasha, though, he's always won with some of these big tricks, man. And this one,
yeah.
He looks like he even surprised himself right there.
I know. Maybe that was first try. Maybe he laced there. He's like, oh, it's just one of those weird ideas, and you do it first try, and you're like, oh shit, that actually worked. I know we all been there before. But yeah, congrats, Sasha, for being our WTF of the week this week. And
you been there before? You've been there before with the cartwheel to grind?
No, I have not been there before. I'm kidding. Maybe we'll go down and try it. It's like that's like a more vertical version of the womp that Parker does, because Parker does like the womp kind of like, I guess if you're sideways, like hand planting onto a trick, that's like the more vertical version of it. That's like straight 90 degrees up there.
See, we got to get Sasha to name that something other than a cartwheel, because when you name it, like Parker did with the womp, it created a little surge of people like trying and doing womps for a while. So I feel like if he names it something, then
Mhm.
we'll see a lot more of it.
Yeah,
So Sasha,
that's true.
let's see that name.
Let's see that name. If you guys have any suggestions, shout it out in the comments as well too. We'd like to hear
Let's
what you guys
see
think.
that name. Let's see it.
And we have a lot to talk about on today's show, but before we do that, we have to give a shout out to our sponsor for this episode, which is Blank. The new Blank 2023 Team Skate is available now worldwide at your local skate shop. You might have seen them floating around on the internet for a bit. If you were at the Blading Cup, you've seen them there at the Blank booth. But they have the new Pigeon Blue Colorway 2023 Team Skate. I personally have been riding the Blank skates for well over a year now. They've been my skate of choice, my go-to. I was on the Sean Keen skate, and now I just got delivery the other day of the new 2023 Team Skate. So I'm happy to put this together and ride it. Some of my favorite features are the sole plate, which was helped designed by Kyle Sola, along with the Blank team. And it has like a direct mount frame to the boot, so you can have a nice low profile when you're riding. Your foot is closer to like the sole plate. When you do your grinds, you really feel it better. Also has a nice premium stock liner, memory foam, and comes with, in my personal opinion, some of the best wheels on the market, the Blank rollerblade hydrogen wheels with twin cam bearings. So right out the box, super solid setup, ready to go. It's available now worldwide in all sizes. Check out your local skate shop for availability, and it comes at the low price of $299 USD. So very, very good entry price there for a top quality skate like this. Go to blankrollingproducts.com to learn more about the skate. They have a nice little video on there, some more detailed pictures and specs. So check out blankrollingproducts.com and give them a follow on Instagram at blankrollingproducts. Boom. I do believe that's it for the top of the show, Billy, right? Did we miss anything? I don't think we did.
No, I think that's everything.
That's everything. We got a lot to talk about today on the show. We're just doing like a little catch up on this Channel 11 because we were both at the Blading Cup last week. Was it last week?
Yep.
Yeah, last week
Yeah,
already.
it was
A little
last
more than a
week.
week ago, sure.
Yeah, the
But-
weekend before last.
Yes, and I know you guys all seen like footage of it, some live streams and whatnot. Me and Billy were both in attendance to it, so we just wanted to take this time to talk about the event because it really is more than just a contest. There's a whole vibe going on right there, so we wanted to dig into that a little bit and give you guys some more experience about what we had during that weekend. But how was your Blading Cup weekend generally, Billy?
Yeah, it was good. It was really busy. Like on my end, I was running the Mesmer booth, so I was there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it was good. It was really busy, talking to a lot of people. I had a lot of people at the booth, so it's like a bittersweet thing. Like it's really good for Mesmer, but I didn't get to catch too much of the event.
Mm-hmm.
I closed up the booth early on Sunday so I can go catch some of the pro finals. But it was awesome, man. It was a really good weekend. If you haven't gone to the Blading Cup, I recommend going because it's kind of like two things. Well, what is two things, right? It's an event, trade show that goes on for 3 days, kind of like a swap meet, but for skating and quad skating, and these clothing companies, all these things. So it's really cool. And then through that, they have like these competitions Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's like this really good like cultural kind of event where people like, you're like shaking hands and kissing babies and meeting people and making new friends and kind of like getting a feel for everyone there. So it's more than just a contest. It's just like this really cool thing that, So I didn't get to go to as many booths as I wanted to. I got to walk around for a little bit, but like I said, I was really busy packing, unpacking, working the booth. So, I want to try to find a way around that next year. Maybe I gotta hire my wife,
somebody,
I think, or maybe like hire my wife and somebody else, like two people so I could just like watch and skate, it'd be nice to skate.
Yeah.
I didn't get to sneak away to skate at all either, but, that's my answer. What about you? How was your Blading Cup experience?
I didn't notice that you didn't skate. That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I'm pretty bummed about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure.
Well, but I'm not. But that's what I'm saying. I'm not really bummed because it's a bitter like.
Yeah.
I was
still
just
got a lot of good shit
done.
Like
Mesmer, it's a new company, so people like have a lot of questions about the skates. So like a lot of people just want to not so much like buy something, but they just want to try it on, see how it fits. So it was cool to like get people like who were curious, like sit down, like I was like on my hands and knees putting people's skates on people's feet for like most of it, but it was cool like to do that. But in doing that, you miss the other things, but it's hard to really complain about missing the other things or not being able to skate. I saw so many good friends, and a lot of people got to like try on and feel out the skates. So that's good on my end. But of course, you want to be able to sneak away to skate or stuff like that. But didn't
Yeah.
get to make it happen on this trip.
Yeah, that's the thing about these events too. Like you see all the footage of it and the clips online and all that stuff, but when you're at the event, it is a way different vibe. Like being able to, maybe you've never seen a mesmer skate in person, you wanted to try them on, like you said, or just hold them in your hand, see them in person. Like you could do that at Blading Cup. If the same thing with I
Yeah.
don't know, like a razor skate, a them skate, whatever it is, you
Yeah.
could just go there, try it on, and even talk to the people who own the company, like yourself.
Right.
You're there running the booth. It's like the real deal. So you don't get that anywhere else. And even when you're watching an edit or something like that, it's still just not the same as doing it in person. And you can even buy a skate direct from the owner of the company. You go to the Mesmer booth and you buy directly a skate from you. You go to the them skate shop and you buy a skate with John Julio's like working at the counter. It's really cool to do all these things at Blading Cup, which
Yeah.
you don't get to do anywhere else. And no contest footage portrays that necessarily. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very, to your point, it's very personal. You know what I
There
mean?
you
You
go.
you get you get to see like all the people who everyone is there at the event. Like right next to us was Colin and Sean at the basement
Yep.
booth, and so just like it's all like everyone that is in like you see in the community or that's contributing, they're all there. The first day on Friday when I was walking in, I was like rolling it. I was a little later because just a long story. I was like hosting people, and like my
Mhm.
place doesn't open until like my store doesn't open until like 9:30. So I had to like get everything. People were down there around 9. I got there around like 11, and I was rolling the stuff in. I saw like the people skating and the P rails along like the alleyways, and
Mhm.
all like the booths kind of just like blossoming and happening. And I was just like, we often we all love John Julio and we give him praise, but I was just like, wow, man, he really built this a tremendous event. Like this is like it takes over the whole city, and like I said, it's like this like swap meet flea market type thing. And even on the Saturday, or I believe was it the Sunday? I think it was that I think it was the Saturday or the Sunday, but like the other businesses in the town on Fourth Street started having like they
Yeah, it
came
was
out and they
Saturday.
had like it was Saturday,
Yeah.
okay. So they were out too, and like the whole street shut down, and like the whole town turned into like this fair that's like has like Blading Cup is like kind of like the centerpiece of it.
Yeah.
So it was it's a really it's what it's become over the years is just incredible, and it's like so good for the culture.
Absolutely. It brings a lot of attention to skating. And it's for those who aren't there, it's hard to grasp like the scale of it. And it is like the contest is like one entire block long. And then the whole trade show part and the mini ramp is like another entire block long. So it does leave like a huge impression on the city and the locals. There's a lot of foot traffic there, a lot of people walking around who get to see skating in person sometimes for the first time, or they just like to watch it for whatever. They walk by. I've seen tons of people walking by and just like, oh, what is this? And they just peek and they watch like the amateur prelims or whatever, or like the mini ramp. Like it happens every minute at the Blading Cup, and it's super cool. I like how you mentioned the P rails and the boxes that are just like in between everything, because John did turn its place into like a I don't know, it's like a supermarket, like a Costco of like skating. It's like you could buy stuff here, you could skate the little P rails, you can compete here. There's a street course here, there's a mini ramp there. It's like really does have everything, and
No, it's
it's
awesome.
put together so well. And that's like the vibe. Rashard Johnson put out a bunch of really cool videos on YouTube. They're actually linked into the video description below, along with Older Blading, put out a really good edit for the Blading Cup. But Rashard's video particularly put out like a really good vibe. He has one video for each day, and you can really see the people at the booths. Like in between, there's people just skating, sessioning a P rail who don't necessarily want to compete but want to skate. You got the mini ramp, you got the quad skaters, the rollerbladers. There's a lot going on, and it's hard to really capture that on video. And it's just really good. It makes you leave the weekend feeling really good about skating as well. Like that, that skating is in a good place right now. It's exciting. There's a lot of new shit coming out. There's a lot of new things happening, and it makes you feel good just about the industry in general. It's awesome.
Yeah, you got to give a huge shout out to Richard because like John, he's just such a worker and just like such a good representative. I just saw him the whole weekend just like rolling around on his
Yeah.
skates, filming things. He had his booth. His daughter Jalen was running it. She was skating all over the place. It was just like, and then you saw the edits, like one for each day, and they
Yeah.
were just so much fun. I actually didn't get to watch them till this morning when I was like trying to prepare for this episode, and I was like, wow, these are really cool. These are really cool. But he always does such good work, and he's just always on top of it. He doesn't rest. But yeah, man. And just like seeing like the different booths, like obviously as of the Spring Cup, there was like quad skating was involved, so you got to see like a lot of cool quad booths around, and it's cool to see their take on stuff because they put like a lot of these little details into like their companies that we might not really acknowledge because we're kind of set in our ways through rollerblading, but seeing like what they bring is really fun. And the Anaheim Ducks rented a booth, which is cool. They sent down their like mascot with the big like hockey duck mask. And they had it was like a mini hockey rink. Their booth is just a mini hockey rink with a couple of goals. They were giving people sticks and they were able to play. And I mean, I think that's really cool because I know a lot of us from my generation came into skating through hockey. Like even like the connection through like the movie The Mighty Ducks, where they had like kind of sprinkled some like aggressive inline skating in there. And I know a lot of us like in New York, like the Rangers had a really good team in 94, 95, won the Stanley Cup. And like, so there was like a lot of like that crossover, especially in Minnesota. A lot of kids came from like hockey to
Canada too. A lot of Canadian skaters.
Canada.
Yeah.
And so it's like cool to like embrace that connection because there's really parallels there. And I think that's really cool. So that made me excited seeing like the Anaheim Ducks mascot like on the street course, like cheering on like the blading. Yeah, that was really cool.
That makes me think there should be a Blading Cup mascot.
What would he look like?
That's up for discussion. I don't know, but if there was some sort of character, like a Blading Cup character or some sort, like if it was like the Blading Cup logo and then the Blading Cup mascot, whoever is inside the costume, I don't know. That's up for debate. We could see who would be the best mascot. But to have that like little sticker logos with like the Blading Cup guy on it, just like that, and like not just like the Anaheim Ducks, but like something like that, like a little logo, and have like this thing because there's a lot of kids at the event too. Like you said, at the hockey thing, it was full of kids the entire weekend, like slapping whatever the sticks around, and they jump on their blades right afterwards and they start skating the P-rails in the boxes right there. So there are a lot of kids there. It is like a really a big family event for the most part. So like a mascot would be funny as hell. I don't know the logistics of getting a mascot costume and all this stuff made, like a designer or something like that. That'd be pretty funny though if there was a Blading Cup mascot and then whoever it is, maybe the Anaheim Ducks have an event and then the Blading Cup mascot goes there, with a little P-rail, a little skates to try on or something. Who knows?
Would the Blading Cup mascot be like a cup?
Could be.
Like a trophy with a face?
Like no, what was like Cinderella or something like that? The cup, is that Chip or something like that? Is that Cinderella? Oh, Beauty and the Beast?
Oh, I'm sorry. There already is a Blading Cup mascot.
Is there?
Yeah, Chris Edwards is out there like he's kind of like our main guy and like mascot for blading.
That's
like
true.
He's like
There's
but I feel like it should be one of our guys, like instead of like like a dressed up like like a fictional character. I think it should be like
a cartoony version of somebody.
Nah, I don't know. I hope I'm not being disrespectful. Nothing but like.
I don't think we're being disrespectful in any way. I just funny idea to throw around there because mascots are funny and entertaining and characters and bring a lot of attention to the sport.
I'll be a mascot too. I'll be a mascot all day.
Mesmer mascot? You're gonna be the frog? Or the
I'll be like, give me a B, give me an L, Blading Cup. No, I'm just kidding.
That'd be super funny. But
that'd be fun.
One of my favorite things also about the weekend as well, aside from the Blading Cup itself, is that there's constant sessions going on throughout the weekend in just like the area, in the Orange County area. Like from Friday to Sunday, every morning, every night, there's like some sort of skate park session outside of the Santa Ana area, but still really close. A lot of them go to like the Tustin parks, but you could go to any of these parks that whole weekend and there's always skaters there. So I think that's really cool too, because you get to connect with people outside of the event still. But it's like you don't always live in a place where you could just show up at the skate park and there's rollerbladers there already, Usually you go, it's full of, skateboarders or scooters or something like that. But you get to go to these parks like 8 a.m. on Saturday, 8 a.m. Sunday morning before the contest, before the event happens. And there's like a bunch of skaters there. And they're all happy to see each other, happy to skate together. people you never seen before skated. Maybe you met them online or something like that, but you all get to connect on that level too, which is also, I find, really cool and really unique, because I don't think there are any other events or many other events out there where that is the case. Because I know Winter Clash is like a huge event too, massive event, but it's not
cold.
really the type of place where, yeah, it's cold too. Like, it's not the type of place where
it's
you
not
just, like,
California.
yeah, you don't just like skate around the city and like just find other skaters skating. People are there for the event, for the skate park, for Area 51.
Right.
But like, since this is in California, it's warm, for the most part. It's not raining, hopefully, and you get to skate with all these people, and it's really cool to connect with them outside of the actual event area, which is, I think, unique to Blading Cup.
Yeah, like local non-bladers probably hate this weekend.
Yeah, skateboarders. Yeah, I heard some.
Like, it's like if you go to your skate park and it's normally like 5 to 10 people, and you're like, oh, sweet, and then you show up one weekend and there's just like 50 people. Like, what on earth is happening? It's probably so confusing to them. But I think actually the Blading Cup weekend is getting more notoriety amongst like other like cultures. So maybe they're getting used to it at this point. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's really cool. Like, whenever you like, I remember just driving in. I was driving in on Friday, and I was like 15 blocks away from, once you get off the highway, it's like a little bit of a local drive to downtown. Yeah. And I was like 15 blocks away from like where the Blading Cup was, and I just saw a group of like 3 people just like skating down the street, and it just like gave me such a nostalgic New York feeling, like of just like, oh wow, like just like skating down the street to get to like, it made me feel like me skating down the street to get to like the NIS event to see whoever. Yeah. And it was like skating down the street. I was like, wow, that's cool. Like the excitement and the energy that comes that weekend for the event is, it's awesome. It's really second on. If you haven't gone there, you have to go. I'm pretty sure like everyone who goes would attest to that. It's, the contest itself is great, but it's just a small part of it.
Yeah. And there was another side event too. It was your birthday that weekend too.
It was my birthday.
We had a nice little celebration. Was it Saturday?
Yeah.
Saturday, right? Saturday.
It was Saturday.
That was awesome too. That's cool being get to like celebrate your birthday with like all your friends around you like that that you don't really get to see.
Yeah, that was cool. My wife knows that I don't like to make a big deal about my birthday, and like I don't really tell anybody. I like to keep it quiet. Like I'll go with a few friends, get something to eat, keep it quiet.
Yeah.
But she knows that I don't like that, so she kind of just tells everyone to go wish me a happy birthday and kind of make me. And then there was like the big like people came with a cake and sung, and if you saw in Richard's edit. Yeah. But that it was awesome. It was really, really, I felt great, but I was also like feeling like, hate when like the center is on there.
Yeah. I'm like that too. Yeah, I'm like that too. I don't like being the center of attention for my birthday or doing anything really, but when you're at an event,
felt very loved.
Exactly. Yeah. You have all that love around you anyway, and then when it's your birthday, it's like extra special,
Yeah. So. You know what it is? I was like thinking like, I'm like, so it's my birthday, whatever, like, not like I care about it, but it was great. You get up, you're working all day, you're talking to people at Mesmer, you're like doing all this stuff, but like, it's very rare on your birthday where so many people are in from like out of town, like from all over the world that are such good friends. So I felt like really lucky for that, like that there was like all these really good friends around, and it was cool. It was nice.
That's a unique way to spend your birthday. Yeah, nice little side event. Everyone heard it. Everyone's screaming happy birthday to you at the Mesmer booth too. I know it attracted a bit of a crowd. But yeah, that's a really memorable way to spend your birthday, and I was there.
Yours is coming up, buddy.
Should we make an event for my birthday weekend?
We should make an event. What's going on? Let's go to I'm coming to New York. We should do something.
The New York Thanksgiving Blade-a-thon? Because the Thanksgiving weekend.
Let's do it.
No way, never. But do you have like any standout moments from the weekend that like, I don't know, that make it like memorable for you? Any favorite moments?
Well, I do want to talk about the contest because, like I said, I missed
most the contest too
from running the booth, but I did get to catch the finals. I mean, there was at the after party there was an arm wrestling cup that I did pretty good at, but some people were saying my elbow was sliding around, so we got to come back. We got to make it official next year. We'll see. We got to figure it out. But I think about the event itself, just like the finals was really cool. It was really cool to see. It was my first time seeing Jay Yoon skate.
Yeah,
and
that was one of my highlights too.
Yeah, that was really good. he like very much like gave me
You're gonna say it. I know you're
like
gonna say it.
no, you don't. Do you?
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's see.
Let me say he gave me like a steezy like a very like steezy like Aaron Feinberg kind of vibes
Okay, that's not what I was
in
gonna
his
say, but
in his run because it was like so perfect every time, not
mhm.
missing a trick, like and like sticking to the same run, like very. It was kind of like X Games
Yeah,
esque, like ASA esque, like vibes
it was like
of just like
professional of him to do
it
it
was
that way. You know?
professional. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was like, and like the fact that he was able to do like full cab Ali porn star 540 out like 3 times in a row.
And he did it
Like
every time in practice too, the same way.
yeah,
When I remember warming up, and he just did that. I'm like, did he really do that? And he did it like twice more, and then did it in the runs perfect. Like that's so
540.
Japanese of him to do it that way. You know?
Yeah, is he Japanese? Is he
Oh,
Japanese
Korean,
or
Korean. He's
is he
Korean.
Korean? Yeah, yeah.
Korean, yes.
So and he definitely fakey 540 out of that trick is like really
Yeah,
difficult. It seems just like one more spin, but that one extra 180 is like much tougher than the full cabs. And the fact that
yeah,
he was able to do it so many times in a row, and yeah, to your points, like um, he has like a very disciplined style of skating that it
mhm.
seems you seem to find like when you look to like the Korean and Japanese skaters, it's just like very their style and take on skating just seems to be very precise and consistent, at least from what I've seen from the few skaters I've seen from out of there. But
Mhm.
uh, big fan of his, and yeah, it was awesome. And of course Dominic, is like Mesmer guy was Dominic was killing it all day. So it was so good to see Dominic just like ripping. It was such a shame that he got hurt at maybe 3/4 of the way into the finals. And he
Mhm.
still ended up getting third, which was
Yeah,
awesome. Like just a testament to how
that's how
well he
good
was
he is.
skating.
Yeah,
That's how well he was skating. He has a thing like when he's on, like and he's focused, he's just like unstoppable. Like, do you
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like it's but yeah, so I was like, okay, I heard, oh, we're doing the finals. I was like, okay, I'm packing up this booth. I packed up the booth really
You
quick,
gotta.
shut it down. And then I was lucky. My wife was able to watch the booth for a while, so I ran over there and was able to just watch the whole finals. It was really good. And Nils, of course. What did you think? I'm babbling on. What did you think of the finals? What did you think? What was your highlight?
Um, you mentioned two of my highlights already. I was gonna say also Jay Yoon and Dominic Bruce were like my highlights. I've been following Jay Yoon for a long time on Instagram. I've been a fan of him since he was like a little kid. He still is a little kid. I think he's 17 now, but I guess when he was like 14 or something, he does have that skating. I love all the Korean skaters skate like that. The Japanese skaters very very smooth, very silky, very stylish, always
Very
on,
silky.
very silky.
Oh my god,
Very stylish. They're always on point. But
silky.
watching him skate in person was really cool. Getting to meet him finally in person was also really cool. Very humble guy, also, just like how I would expect from him. I was rooting for him to win the whole time. Honestly, I was like, damn, I really want Jay to win. That would be really sick. Like kind of like an underdog story of like no one expected Jay to show up and like
Yeah,
just to kill it out of nowhere. It's typically not his style, of course, I would say, because he's more of like a big ramp kind of guy, like a feast style park person. So to see him being able to do what he does on a park, on a setup like how the Blading Cup is, really shows also how well of a skater he is. But also, like you said, Dominic was blowing everybody away. I feel like if there was like a crowdometer, like a volume level, like Dominic had like the highest amplitude out of everybody else. He had the crowd going the entire time during his runs. There was 2 runs each, 2 30-second runs is the way it's done. And the first one was completely flawless. Like he just nailed everything. And then same thing with the second one too. But like every trick was just like full speed, full send the entire time. He skated way faster than everyone else. I think he locked and did all his tricks perfectly in both of his runs the first time. And that I was like, oh shit, Dominic is gonna win this because like the way he did it, it was flawless. And
Hmm.
I've skated with Dominic before. Obviously, you know how Dominic skates, but like
Hmm.
my girlfriend next to me who skates also, she never seen him skate in person, and it's like she was like, wow, like eyes popping out of her head, and I'm
Hmm.
like, yeah, that's how he skates. Like I don't know, you don't like experience that watching him skate in like edits and whatever, but when he's doing
Right.
a run, when he's doing a line, he's full send, full speed the entire time. And I remember the first time I
Yeah.
ever skated with him in person, it was the same way. I was like, what the like what the fuck is this? He's fucking
Yeah.
wild. Like you don't
Sup-
expect that. He is though.
It's super high energy. I just remember like when I first went over there, he he dropped in from the quarter pipe, did like a big 360, and was skating at like really fast at the quarter pipe. It's just like a quarter pipe, but he's skating as fast as he can at it. And then he did like this like shuffle fakie to forward and just.
But he didn't just skate up to the quarter pipe. He did like
the shuffle, the shuffle thing,
he did
like going up. Yeah.
3 of them. Like he took advantage of every inch of the course. Like he did every type of skating. He did the big shit, the big airs, all the grinds, the technical shit, the little footwork, newer stuff. Like he did it all.
Yeah, it's very high energy. That's what I'm saying. Like when he's like rested and has his energy and he's on, it's just like it's a sight to behold. But
what does he do for that energy? Did he like chug like the biggest monster ever before he did that, or that's just how he is all the time?
I don't know, B25 and probably like just, he's just a high energy guy. I think some people have different energies, and he's definitely one of those high energy people.
Yeah, that was super sick.
I want to talk about Nils real quick and how he killed it, because when I was there, I was like, actually the precision level of Nils and just like the focus, it's just like so good at executing. But before I talk about that real quick, I just saw in the chat someone mentioned Randy. So we got to say something to Randy real quick. The old man, first of all, we got to make some, I know the rules are always changing on the old man. We got to make some new rules on the old man to get Randy out of there, because he was just skating way too good. I mean, it was cool to see. I didn't see it live, but I watched the footage later on, and it was just the gap to soul. Like he was just like the gap to grind he was doing, like the alley-oop Machio, like the dark side alley fishy kind of thing. Yeah. Like he was doing so much, and he just looks like he's skating better than he ever has. Looks like stronger than ever. So before we go on to talk about Nils, just whoever mentioned Randy in the chat, huge shout out. But Randy, man, he killed it.
Yeah, that was also on my list of favorite things, was the Veterans Cup, if it's still called that. But yeah, the 3 things I always look forward to, obviously the Pro Finals, Veterans Cup, and the 18 and under. Usually the little kids kill it too. It's fun watching them kill it. But the Veterans Cup is a huge thing at Blading Cup too, because a lot of people, we're all older now. We grew up watching these people skate in like the 90s or early 2000s, and you get to, for a lot of people, see them for the first time skate in person. And it's like, oh shit, that's like Arlo skating. Oh shit, that's Richard. That's, Louis Zamora, Randy Spicer. And yeah, you're right. Randy's just too good. I think the only person who could really give him a run for his money is if Aaron Feinberg comes back for another Blading Cup, because he also killed it that one year that he skated. Randy,
I don't know, man. I think Louis could turn up too. I mean,
thought Louis was gonna win, honestly, when he got hurt. But
also, if John throws his hat in the mix, you know what I mean. But John's working the whole weekend, Julio. But if John could hang. I mean, Scotty Crawford, who's almost 50, was ripping, and he could hang on, But just Randy's just. It just seems like John Ortiz posted he posted a story at like 2 a.m. before the Blading Cup. And Randy was just doing like push-ups and stuff. I think Randy was training for this.
I saw that.
I think Randy was really training for this one. But
Abdiel called me after the weekend, and I was like, "You're still buzzing, aren't you?" He's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "I got to come for Randy next year. I got to start training." And I was making a joke to him about like, "Yo, you got to hit the gym. You got to start working out, doing all this stuff." And like right after that, I saw John's post, John Ortiz's post, where Randy was like doing the push-ups the night before and like getting fit and getting in shape. And he has so much energy too. I remember not this year, I think last year, I didn't see him yet at the Blading Cup, and he like skated by me and like bumped into me, kind of like, "Hey, like I'm here, whatever." And I was like, "Oh shit, what up, Randy?" I'm like, "Yo, the kids are skating right now, by the way." And he goes, "I am a kid still," and he starts skating away into it. So he has that young energy still, and he's wild. I'm surprised because he did that Disaster Soul, like you said, which someone else did it the day before, but still, Randy, you wouldn't expect that in the Veterans Cup, people throwing like hammers like that, like Disaster Soul.
That's a big one.
He went for the Disaster Alley-oop Fish, and that was wild. And I was like, he could have done it if he had a second try, but I guess he got hurt too. But I'm surprised that no one else went for a bigger disaster trick, because once I saw Randy do that, I'm like, if Randy's doing that, like, the younger guys are going to start throwing like 360s and 540s, who knows? But no one really tried to one-up Randy on that. There was like a disaster topsoul, Nils did disaster fish brain, but like Randy, if he did that, that would have been like the best trick on that all weekend.
Yeah, I think that speaks to like the format of the competition, though. Like the format of the competition seemed to be more like line-based, which is cool because it really makes it makes you get creative. The course was like pretty minimalistic, And some people were complaining about it. I've heard some complaints, and I heard some people say it was great. For me, like, I like that stuff. I think that's awesome because
Mhm.
it's like it's kind of like a competition, but like almost in a street way. It's like, this is what's here, like, do you know what I mean?
It's more
And
raw.
make use of it, right? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So like, and see how you can make the best out of what's right here. And yeah, so I think just like it wasn't really best trick formatted. I know at the end they were
Mhm.
like, all right, last tricks.
Yeah.
And I guess in those moments, that's more of a opportunity to do that. But it was 30-second lines, and I think that's cool because you can throw that in, but it's not like that's not the focus.
Mhm.
But I think that's probably one of the reasons that contributed to that.
Yeah. I
What
agree
do you
with
think?
you on that too. Yeah. There. Yeah, we got to talk about that too, like the how people quote complain or whatever about the size of the course and that the ramps are small and tiny. It's like whatever, you have different flavors of contests. You have Winter Clash and Feast that are these big, huge ramps and hammer obstacles and stuff. And then you have the Blading Cup, which is a little more welcoming and like you said, it's more creative for the people to kind of figure out the best way to utilize these things. And it really shows the skill of a pro when you can make something out of nothing, kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's not just laid out for you in like a lunchbox, a quarter pipe. How many spins can you do on this? It's like, how can you utilize these obstacles to the best of your ability, the most creative way to wow the crowd, wow the judges. And it really shows the skill of the person. But more than that, Blading Cup, like, you have to go there to really experience it. And when you go there, it's different than watching it online, because online all you see is the contest stuff and you're like, oh, this like
Right.
contest stuff isn't as legit as it should be. But
Hmm.
I feel like Blaney Cup started out as a contest, kind of graduated into like having a trade show, a little more cultural influence into it, and now I feel like that's the main part of the weekend, and then the contest is almost like a side thing. Like the skating is just
Yeah.
there, and you have to go there to experience that. You can't just see that necessarily from a couple Instagram clips. So for that reason, when you go there, you really understand what the event's about and why the course is designed the way it is.
Yeah. It's like a city event with blading
Yeah.
and quad skating. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it was awesome. And then obviously there were the premieres,
Hmm. Did you
which
get to
was
go to any of them? Because I know you were working during the day. Were
I
you?
did. I got to go to the slippery slope one for like a bit. It was so packed in there. It was at
That's
the
why I couldn't
Stussy
make it.
place.
Yeah, I couldn't make it. It was so crowded.
I basically went in and I pushed to the door to where I could see from the side. And my wife, who's like I'm not that tall. My wife's smaller than me.
Hmm.
She had problems seeing, and I watched for like 5 minutes, and then I was like, you know what? I'll watch the rest online. But
Yeah.
it sounded like it was great. Like I obviously watched it back at home. The video is awesome. Jeremy
Oh, yeah, I forgot I had
made it.
clips.
I really liked the music that he used because it's like it has like a really good range of music that you wouldn't maybe have expected. Well, I know Jeremy's like a big hip hop guy, but he used like all
Yeah.
different kinds of music, so
I
it
was
was really
surprised by
cool.
that too.
Yeah, I thought it was fun, and it's such a good range of people in it. I was talking to Jeremy. We got to do a movie night with this one, man.
Yeah,
This
we
one is
definitely do.
yeah, but
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I
of
tried.
course, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I tried making it to the premiere also. I got in early with my girlfriend, and we had like a half hour to wait, and it started getting so packed. I'm like, I can't wait in this confined area with all these people for a half hour before it begins. And then we try sneaking in later, and it was just way too crowded. Which, I mean, it's a good thing. It's like showing that they fill in the space, and there's so many people interested in these videos. And then I watched the video later, and I'm like, damn, this video is ridiculously good. Like off the bat, it starts off with, I showed a few clips just now, but John had like, I don't know, a dozen or so of like some of the best clips I've ever seen from him, like ever. So it's so good. I know, Billy, you got a few clips in there. Parker has some clips in there. I always enjoy watching Joey Lunger skate too. He's
Love it.
he's one of my favorites now. Also, his
Yeah.
creativity and everything is awesome. But it's the same people that made like, if you're familiar with the Up to No Good video, same crew, so you know the vibe. You know that there's a lot of really good skating, a lot of cool people in it, and it's just super entertaining. It's also really good, in my opinion, to see these full length videos that come out. I think it's like a half hour or something at least. But
Yeah, it's like 36 minutes.
yeah, so I love watching these full length videos too. It keeps you entertained for a while, and it's not just like a 3-minute edit that gets overlooked. Like you could sit down, have some dinner, watch this, get the homies over to the house, have like your own movie night. But we will do definitely a movie night with this in the next couple of weeks or something, because this video is way too good to look over.
Yeah, these guys killed it, and it's like a mix. It's like such a good vibe. Like it's like a legit video, but like the most legit like homie video. It's like it's like oh my god, that spot
Yeah,
so
it's so
sick. So sick. I rode my bike past that spot days back, and I was like, someone could definitely do that. It's so cool.
It's so good.
That he did
And
that. Yeah,
it's only
love
filmed
that.
in, according to the description, only filmed in 5 months, which is not a lot of time at all.
They skate every weekend at least. Like
That's
these
good.
guys are just. I'm in the group. I'm lucky to be in the group text, but they're always going at it. These guys, they're just on it. Some on it skaters.
Yeah, no, that video is really good. I still have like 10 minutes left to watch of the video, but I was floored by the first like 15 minutes of it already, and I'm just excited to watch the rest of it. So, hell yeah, good job, Jeremy and all the other guys. You guys are killing it. I can't wait to see the next one already. If it only takes you 5 months to make a video, that's crazy.
The basement video too was everyone. It was like one of the most highly anticipated videos of the weekend.
Yeah,
Oh, speaking of the weekend, well, we could talk about the weekend.
we'll talk about that later.
But the basement video was over the Blading Cup weekend. It was like one of the most highly anticipated videos, and did not disappoint.
Your phone is blowing up right now, Billy.
No,
It's been blowing up all episode.
So you do hear it. You hear it. Okay.
I heard it a few times going off, but
It's unbelievable.
you're a busy boy
It really is.
these days.
Okay, let me.
Oh, now my
shut
phone's
it.
going off too. All right, this is ridiculous. But yeah, the basement video, everybody knows, what Sean and Colin are about, and they put out a lot of videos, a lot of really good, high quality videos over many, many years in the past. But this Spaceman 2 video is, I think, my personal favorite so far. I don't know what it is about it. Like, I just don't know. Like, their skating just keeps getting better and better, obviously, and
Yeah.
it's just to that point where it's like, how are you still doing all this shit? Like, how are you guys still so good? And they always find new spots. Always. They're always venturing around Philly trying to find something new. Even like this, like at Payne's, like to do something there. That's not even like part of the park. It's just like on the way into the skate park,
Yeah.
And I love Colin's one of my favorite skaters of all time too. I love watching him skate. So to watch like a 7-minute part or like 6-minute part of his is always entertaining. Yeah, super, super good video. If you haven't checked that out already, check out Spaceman 2. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, the links to all these videos are in the description. So you could check it out after you're done with this, of course.
Yeah, I really liked that he was incorporating those like toe slides that we were talking about with Joey on the podcast. Like
Yeah.
those double toe slide
Yeah.
things.
So tough. Like
Yeah,
that right there.
Yeah, that one. He had one like so he did one into a grind. He had one out of a grind. He's and they just I just it sounds because I used to like never care about how anyone dressed ever, but I just love how they dress too, man. They just like everything is just so on point. It's awesome.
Chesh had the best reaction to Sean. Remember when we did like the second episode with them? He's like, yo, Chesh messaged me the other day. He's like, who dresses you these days? You need to fire them immediately.
Oh my god. That's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny. Their videos are so entertaining. They're so good on a completely another level, especially people who've been skating for so long to keep up with the times. And they just laid down another one. Spaceman 2 is out there. And Colin raps a little freestyle in the beginning. I don't know if it's a freestyle, but he has a little rhyme in the intro, which is really cool because they really do it all themselves. Like Sean really gets into the production, the editing, and the music and the audio and all that stuff. So it's cool to do that, to see that,
Yeah, I know Sean. I don't know if he did it for this one, but I know Sean's making beats.
Yeah, I think
So
he
I'm
does
not-
it for
I'm
most of them, or mixes music, and
Mixes.
I don't know much about this stuff, but he definitely does a lot of it, and I don't know how much of it he does for each video, but I think he probably does it all. Honestly, he kills it. It's a quality product, and they launched it with their new basement line of clothes too, which was available at the Blade Cup too. But you could check it out probably on their website, on the basement website.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Um.
Does that lead us into?
So yeah, Yeah, I think so. I just wanted to shout out real quick. Sean Keane had something that came out also on that weekend. I just
Did
wanted to
he?
give a quick shout out to that. Yeah, it was a short, brief little edit, but I just love Sean Keane skating. He's like one of my favorite skaters. I believe I'm always giving him praise on this podcast,
Yeah,
but
well deserved.
it's because he deserves it. He's like one of my. I
Yeah,
love his skating. It's just so much fun to watch. But
I overlooked
so
that.
if
I gotta check that out
yeah,
then, whatever it is.
check that out if you haven't. And there was a bunch of other great things this weekend. I'm sorry that
There's a lot.
there was a lot. So um yeah, huge shout out to everyone who had stuff going on this weekend though. But I think that leads us, because I keep saying weekend, into the weekend, not only the edit but the collab and the skit itself. So uh as a lot of people know, as some people have, it's been going on, people have been talking about it for a
There's no
while.
way you
It
don't
came
know
out
about it yet.
there's no way you don't know about it. Tom Moyes has pointed out to it. There was a premiere on Thursday
Mhm.
for that, and
Was the premiere the skit or the skate edit?
see, I didn't make it to Thursday,
Yeah, I
but
wasn't in LA then, or Orange
they
County.
played it again on Saturday, where they played the skit with the skate edit after
Oh,
it.
both of them. Okay, that's
So
what I was
so
curious about.
when they released it online, they just released the skit, which was so okay. I did it. I don't know much about skateboarding. I'll admit I didn't grow up skateboarding. I was like from like the older generation where we were just like blading guys and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But so from what I saw, there was like a lot of like they had a lot of people that came in and were a part of the edit for the skit that were like from these other companies that had nothing to do with the weekend. They
Mhm.
had the Baker skate team. I think they had like hockey guys or something like that. And they had like Heath Kirchart, I guess, who was like the janitor, who's like this older skateboarder, like a legendary skateboarder. And they had Ashad Ware was also in there, who he's from New Jersey, so I know that guy too. But
I
yeah,
see you
like
some
they
people
had a
in there.
bunch. They had a bunch of legendary, like I guess, people from other companies that like all came to be a part of this edit. And I don't know, like I'm from like the kind of older generation where it's just like there's always like a bit of separation. You would never think that you would see this kind of collaboration, especially if there was this collaboration, see so many people participate in it.
Mhm.
So it was really cool to see, because when you look at it from, I think, the skateboarder perspective of it, it's a more kind of risky thing, because skateboarding, at least from our perspective, or at least from mine, it seems like more solidified in its business and its traction in the culture. And blading's always kind of been like this, you know, it's kind of, it's, I can't think of the word right now, but it's like something like, it's like a social suicide, I guess they would say, in like in the skit. Like people were just like trying to keep their distance, because it wasn't really, blading's not really attached with what's culturally cool. There's no representation in blading anywhere in like the mainstream culture, or,
Yeah.
or even many subcultures. So it's kind of just looked at as like the black sheep, or whatever. So people just don't touch it usually
Mhm.
when it comes to anything regarding the culture. So kudos to Weekend and to Grant for having like the courage to, and taking the risk, and also like the vision, because I think they did it better than it, like it was so well done. It was just yeah, I was just really impressed with it. They covered every single thing. It starts in like a high school, obviously, and they're introducing the new guys, which are the weekend guys, like all the groups in school. They're like this group, that group, and they're just like other skateboard companies or representations thereof,
Mhm.
and telling them like not to make the wrong social mistake so you could be cool in school. And
Mhm.
then when it comes down to like the blader part, it's like, oh, these guys, do not mess with them. That's social suicide. You can't do it. And it kind of kicks off like that. So it was really well done. I think it was like a kind of playful, fun way to show that like representation of what it could be viewed at in the culture in these ways. And yeah, it was just like really fun and playful. As far as the skit went, I know we're not talking
Yeah.
about the edit at the moment, but the skit I thought was like really well done. Those kids were, whoever was the one doing the whole monologue in the beginning, like kind of guiding them.
Yeah.
Guy's a really good actor. There was some really good acting in that.
There is a lot of really good acting in there. It was
Yeah.
it was legit as hell. Like production quality, everything. Like they did a really good job. That definitely took a lot of serious planning into putting it together. Yeah, it's really cool. Like I'm similar to you. I didn't really know much about skateboarding or what was involved in it. I watched the video, and then throughout watching the video, I started reading the comments, and I guess skateboarders and stuff started pointing out who was who and the significance
Right.
and whatever. So it made a little more sense. I'm sure
Right.
if you are a skateboarder, you would enjoy the video more than a rollerblader. I think just because we generally don't know all these people in it like they would know.
Right. You would know, you would like, the cameos would be like more surprising. Oh, it's this
Exactly. Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. Like I was able to tell from watching it, even though I didn't particularly know the people or recognize them, that they must be somebody based on how the way they were being presented in the
Yeah.
edit. And then it was cool to see in the comments that they were like some like kind of like legendary skateboarders in there. And
Yeah.
yeah, it just seemed really fun. And I could see in that way being more enjoyable
Hmm.
or surprising on the skateboard aspect. But I thought it was like, I thought it was really enjoyable too. Like I said, I think it was like really well done, and it was just so cool to see. I love all those guys, but like Parker in
Yeah.
there with like
And
the
Gregory.
big like FU shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Greg and Sean and obviously Alex and Kayla and Kay and
Yeah.
all that. But I think Parker was like a big star in that too. So
He
I
was like the
really
main
loved.
guy, the main rollerblader.
I
I would
really, I
say.
really, I really loved seeing Parker's character in that, because like, especially during the premiere when like it was all leading up and it said, "Oh, those are the bladers," and then it turns. I was just like, "Oh my god!" I was just laughing so hard. It was so good. But
It was
yeah.
put together
So
so well.
yeah. But going on to the sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but yeah, about to say that led into that was released first, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
okay, that's like cool, whatever, and then
Right.
later dropped the actual skate edit, which I was hoping for in the first place. I didn't know, like I said before, I wasn't at the premiere, so I didn't know like what actually happened. I was expecting like a skate edit of some sort, and then when they dropped that skit, the high school skit, I was like, oh, this is cool. They're like doing a different take on it. But then the
Yeah.
actual skate edit dropped, and I was like, oh shit, now this is exciting. This is like what I was looking forward to, even more than the actual weekend and them collaboration. Like to see everyone skating together or what they were able to make out of a skate video was more interesting to me personally than actually having a weekend rollerblade or like the weekend skateboards being sold in different places. So I was
Yeah.
excited to see the skate edit itself, and that's obviously more relatable for us as rollerbladers than the skit was, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, they could not have done it better.
Exactly.
I do not think it's possible for them to have made that better than they did.
Mhm.
They, from the skit, the concept, to the skating, and then everyone skating together, the skateboarders trying the rollerblading and the rollerblading doing the
Yeah.
skateboarding, the music was awesome. The Naked Gun reference
Yes.
was hilarious. The
The animations of the rollerblader and the skateboarder together too, like
the
comedy,
song at the end was
the comedy
perfect.
aspect.
Like, yeah, the I Can't Fight This Feeling Anymore is
Yeah.
like there's no better song choice
Yeah,
than
exactly.
that for what that was meant to be. And yeah, it was just so cool to see. And again, talking about, kudos and big props to the weekend for doing this, because like I said, like I think it's a risk, and if you're going to take this risk, you have to do it as well as this was done.
Yeah.
And it was just so cool to also see them take the risk of putting their blades on, and I mean putting some blades on and trying some blade tricks, because honestly, if you don't, it takes a long time of the rollerblading to look not goofy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It could be easy to look goofy on blades. It takes some time to look like solid. And you could see like there was even one of the guys, he did he like jumped over a fire hydrant, and then he front sided a ledge, and he was rolling fakie away.
Yeah, and he
And you
starts
could
stumbling.
no, and you could tell they're so used to going sideways, because we go
Oh.
forward, they go sideways, right? Like he tried to like land in like how you would land on a skateboard, and he was
I
like,
didn't
"Oh
realize
no,
that.
I got to kind of go fully around forward again." Like, do you know what I mean? But it's just even that was like, it's so unique if you don't do it. And it's cool because I think like the narrative also for like a long time was just like, oh, what's the hardest thing about rollerblading, and the joke that goes with that, because I think that the idea was kind of like rollerblading is easy.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think it is, maybe some aspects are easier to begin with than skateboarding could be. Let's say, for example, to like put skates on and to jump, like it would be maybe harder to learn to ollie than to learn how to jump.
Yeah.
But I think the deeper you get into either thing, there's no easier. They're both very difficult, and I think rollerblading is so hard, and like it keeps on progressing too. And skateboarding is obviously extremely hard and difficult as well. So
Mm-hmm.
to see them like try to go out there and skate, it's man, it's obviously these guys are fantastic skateboarders, like,
Yeah.
and to see them have some trouble like rolling fakie, and it's obviously rollerbladers are gonna have trouble skateboarding because they're both difficult crafts that like are their own thing. And just to see the now I don't know how anyone feels in their heart or what it is, but it just seems like a sign of good faith and mutual respect there, and it was just good to see. I watched it just like before this episode to like kind of brush up on it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a very, especially with the music, it's such a feel good thing. So kudos to not only Weekend but them for being able to get something like that done, and Kyle for bridging the gap and being a part of it as well from Brain Dead. It's just yeah, it was cool. It was
Yeah.
really cool to see.
I completely agree. From what my understanding is, Weekend, they started out, these guys, they needed like an outlet to make these funny videos, and they started like making these funny, silly videos and concepts, and it became like a brand from that. And you could tell that's what they do by how good this video is. And I feel like if someone made a serious video, like a serious skate video that had rollerblading and skateboarding, it wouldn't have the same impact, and it wouldn't be as welcoming for everybody as it is with the comedian aspect of it. Like like you said, the music and everything, how it fit, having the rollerbladers trying skateboarding, skateboarding doing rollerblading, even showing like silly falls in the middle, like just making light of the situation rather than like, okay, now we're cool, like this is what we're gonna do now for now on. It's just opening up the doors to like, oh, we're just doing the same shit. This is like what it is, and we can all have fun together. It was more about having fun than showing how serious each sport or how good each sport was, which was the best part about it. I had a smile on my face almost the entire time watching it. It was so good. There was really good skating in it as well, but that wasn't the highlight of the video itself. And to me personally,
very vibey, very vibey,
very vibey. Anybody, even if you
very
don't,
vibey,
very vibey,
very silky,
very silky and groovy, baby.
very silky.
But even if you don't rollerblade or skateboard, you could get like an enjoyment and entertainment value from this video. That's how good I feel it is. Even with the intro, like the little police siren shot in the beginning, like it's all done really, really well.
Well, I think that's what it should be. That's how it should be for a while. I mean, there's a time for seriousness, competition, whatever aspect. But look, man, it's skating, right? It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be entertaining. You're not supposed to be taking yourself too seriously. Like, it's this fun, playful thing that we share and we get to enjoy. And it's just cool to see fun things happen. It's fun. It was enjoyable. That was great to watch. And it's cool to see maybe some things, trepidations or some things, like I said, I don't know how anyone feels in their heart, but it's cool to see at least some good faith and things subside. And it's great, man. It makes me feel better for the future of everyone who wants to participate in all kinds, anyone who wants to go to the skate park. You know what I mean? Skate park should be a fun and cool place for kids to go and do their thing. So whatever it is that you do, scooter, blade, skateboard, BMX, pogo, whatever.
I think that's the biggest takeaway from this altogether, because I know like them goods, they sell Weekend skateboards now. And I saw CCS, which is like the biggest skateboard retailer. They sell them skates now, so they sell rollerblades too. So
crazy. Did you see that it was in Thrasher?
Yeah, they in Thrasher
That's
too.
That's wild.
That's crazy too. Who would have thought that rollerblade would be in Thrasher in a positive sense, not being made fun of?
I can't believe that they let that go through over there. Like
that's true.
That's shocking.
That shows that even those guys, because I feel like even the people that do hate on rollerblading are the older guys. And I don't know anything about skateboarding or the industry or anything, but I would imagine that would probably be the thrasher type of guys, like those people who are like old school, stuck in their ways. Like, this is what skateboarding is. We don't affiliate with this sport or these types of people. And the fact that they were willing to run a rollerblader full spread too, not even like a little thing, a full spread is pretty awesome and an eye opener. But aside from,
I mean, it's just like okay. So like, I just want to say, like, just on a side as a disclaimer, like, we're all out there just having fun. Nobody needs anyone's approval. You know what I mean? Like, rollerblading doesn't need, like, you know, to be like validated by skateboarding for it to be valid.
Right.
Rollerblading is valid.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's just cool to see those things drop. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, like even in like Thrasher, for example, like there was never like a moment in my life, and I'm sure the same goes for many bladers, that like, man, we need to break the boundaries and get into Thrasher.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't think that was ever a thought or a conversation amongst anybody, because it was probably just like, that's their thing. This is our thing. I think not in all of skateboarding, but I think at a certain point at Thrasher, it was like, well, they're hostile to rollerblading. Mm-hmm. At least historically, they're not down with us, which is like, wasn't like, oh man, bummer, but it was just like kind of common knowledge. Mm-hmm. But just to like, you know, I don't know, I was scrolling through Instagram and seeing Al first of all, there's no better person.
Yeah.
As the first representative, if you're going to have someone in Thrasher, then Al, you know, I think, you know, obviously there's like other people who are on the level that could also go in there, like John Bellino, Dominic Bruce, like these kind of guys. Right. But just like to have Al in there is like huge.
And he's knowledge in skateboarding too, so it makes more sense.
But yeah, it's just I mean, Bellino was talking about it recently in his Wheel Scene interview, and check that out if you get a chance, because it's you know, it's just really good. John's a very honest person, very open, and it's a good interview. But he says, and it's an interesting take because I haven't thought about it like this, but he's like, hey, if we want to really want to get there and like get up there with like baseball and like football and stuff like that, we got to do it like together. And I was just like, oh man, like I never really thought of it like that. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's an interesting way to look at it. And I just think that, you know, when these kind of doors open, or any door opens, then there's, you know, room to do all kinds of creative things, and that's exciting, you know? So yeah, huge shout out to everyone who was involved in that project. That was, and you know, John and Kyle and Grant for just getting it done, because it's groundbreaking. You know, it's a groundbreaking thing.
Yeah, that's true, because it wasn't even only just the skaters that were involved. Like, the filming was swapped out too. Like, it was filmed by the skateboarders and the rollerbladers too together. So it wasn't even just like skateboarders being like, hey, be a part of our thing. Like, we're going to film you and that's it. Like, rollerbladers still filmed it too. And it was pretty cool also that it was both ends of it, like the back end, the front end, that bladers were involved in it. As far as like,
I also, real quick, hang on to that thought. I got to shout out Gregory Preston too, because he had like one of my favorite tricks in the edit, like the backslide up that rail with he had the carabiner chain connected to it, and he like kicked it up. It was just like so clean. And I was at that spot not too long ago. That's really hard to do. So
that was really good trick.
I just wanted to say that. Sorry.
Yeah, that was very tasteful. But what I was going to say, I think now that I lost my train of thought, I was trying to hold on to that thought as much as I could.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I was surprised that I was watching the edit and I was like waiting for John to have clips in it, because I know he's like one of the best rollerbladers that can skateboard also. But I didn't realize he doesn't ride for them, and he wouldn't make sense for him to be in the edit. But because I know John's involved with all that too, and I was like waiting. I'm like, yo, John would kill it in this edit, and I'm like, oh shit, he's not going to be in it. He doesn't ride for them. But the fact that they're in,
a couple of the Mesmer guys can skateboard pretty good.
That's interesting. That would be kind of funny
Lou's
too.
Really good. Lou's awesome.
See, this is like interesting for like future events, like have different ideas and different ways to portray, or like just to mix how like roller skating is involved at Blade Cup. Like if there was almost like a skateboard side event at Blading Cup, like where rollerbladers skateboarded, just like fuck around and see what they could do. Like it's just like interesting as something random that people would get enjoyment out of or not even know about in the first place. Like not many people know that, you know, John or Lou could skateboard, or Montre could skateboard really well. So really it's interesting to see how people can hang in these other sports that you wouldn't really necessarily know about. But back to what I was saying about the skate shops doing it, I saw that obviously Randy Spicer posted on his Instagram, if you follow him, that he bought a skateboard and he was with a skateboarder and they switched, you know, he skateboarded, the skateboarder rollerbladed, and it's kind of, they did their own rendition of like the weekend edit. But
yeah,
I saw the rollerblades in CCS and I saw that on Instagram and I was reading the comments. I didn't really see any skateboarders mentioning anything about it. It was more rollerblades being hyped about it. And I got to thinking, I was like, I wonder how many rollerblades like John sold to CCS to sell. Like, do they expect large numbers to sell? And vice versa as well. Like, how many skateboards does John have in stock at them goods? I feel like possibly a rollerblader is somehow more likely to buy a skateboard. A rollerblader is more likely to buy a skateboard from a rollerblading shop than a skateboarder is to buy rollerblades from a skateboard shop, if that makes any sense.
Well, that's why I think they're taking the risk, and that's why I think it's commendable, because I don't know, a skateboard deck is like under $70, and like a trucks and wheels and bearings, I don't know what's a complete, probably 180, 200.
Yeah, probably around 2, I'm guessing.
Something like that with the grip tape and stuff like that. Maybe 2 around there. I have no idea. So I'm going to guess around
2. I think it used to be like 150 back in the day, but obviously inflation. Let's say 2. Yeah. Let's say 2 to 250. That's whatever. That's a good point though, because the rollerblades are more.
Yeah. So the rollerblades, you know, they obviously went with more high end skate because they wanted to have a high end skate for this run, for this collaboration. So it's like $400 skate, which is kind of like, you know, standard price for skates. That's $300 to $400. You know, it's and you know, I guess if maybe some skateboarders could be inspired. I could see some skateboarders doing it, but I think it's more of a commitment. And, you know, they also have to step into a place where it's easier for them to look goofy. Mm-hmm. You know, if you don't blade at all and you put on some blades, it's going to take you a little while to look like you have it together. It takes a little while, and you might just look goofy one day and say, I don't want to look goofy. I'm already looking, I already know how to use this one. You know what I mean? I already look
silky on my board already.
I'm already Silky Balboa over here. You know what I mean? Silky Champ. But so it's, but we'll see. I don't know. That's just like, this isn't like from the market research and the numbers. This is just like what I would assume.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, they could turn around and be like, "Hey, John, we sold out." Like, you know, I hope so. I hope that is what happens, and I hope they have
cool.
I hope they do have a lot of interest, and it does end up being a fruitful endeavor for both parties, because it's just good to see something like this.
Yeah, I was watching the 9 Club episode recently where they discussed the same thing that we're discussing about. 9 Club, for anyone who doesn't know, is a skateboarding podcast. It's pretty much Skateboarding's Jump Street podcast. But they were talking about this whole edit and collaboration too, and they saw the skates in skateboard shops or CCS, whatever, and they're like, it's sick that it's in there. It's $400, and they were like blown away, like, damn, that's like a lot of money, $400 for a pair of rollerblades. And they're like, is that a lot? Like, they don't, same thing that we're doing now. We don't know how much a skateboard costs. They didn't know how much rollerblades cost. So like $400 is like, seems expensive for them too. Their minds would have exploded if I told them some skates cost like $700-800 if you buy like super carbon fiber with this crazy setup or whatever. But maybe they could have like somehow made it like $100 cheaper, not even to make much of a profit, but just to like get it in the hands of more people and a wider audience. And also, since we're all skating at the skate park together, it is kind of easier if a skateboarder did have an interest in rollerblading to be like, hey, I see a rollerblader at a park. Like, can I try those on? I'm like curious about investing $400 in this skate. I doubt many rollerbladers would be like, nah, fuck that. You're not trying on my skates. Like, people are pretty open usually to like letting other people try on their skates for the first time. And it is like
Sure.
an easy way to open the door in some way. Vice versa too. Like if
Yeah.
you wanted to skateboard and you're a rollerblader, there's always skateboarders at the skate park. Just be like, hey, can I try that skateboard real fast? And it doesn't cost you anything. You just try skateboard, you see if you enjoy it or not. If you want to invest the $200 into a skateboard for yourself, so
Yeah.
at least we
Not
have
everyone,
that.
not everyone has that like kind of outgoing personality though.
Just
But
fucking
I know what you
ask.
mean. The option is there,
Yeah.
and I think regarding price, another thing worth considering is like durability. I'm not sure how long a skateboard deck lasts on average for for like an active skateboarder.
I don't know
I don't
either.
know. Is it 3 months? Is it 6? Is it a year?
A
I don't
month. I
know.
don't know.
But the good thing about blades is that you can get a $400 blade. You can make. I skate hard. I can make a pair of blades last a year.
Yeah.
Because, or like,
Especially if you're at a skate park.
well, you can just replace the other
Wheels.
pieces.
Wheels, if anything.
No, sole plates,
Yeah.
cups, wheels, liners. Like the shells themselves are pretty durable and they last
Yeah.
a long time. So I think it is a high initial investment, but it could last, a bit longer. But I don't know how long skateboards last.
Yeah.
I might buy my first skateboard starting for now. I might buy my first skateboard from Weekend. We'll
Oh,
see.
shit.
I might do it. Yeah.
You got to invest the $200 into the complete deck, into the complete. Yeah, I think Rashard in the chat said it's about $200 for a complete. So you were on the money with that, I think, as long as Rashard's knowledge.
Well, I
is
think it
correct.
makes sense because I think their wheels can't be too far from what our wheels cost, right? It's got to be kind of similar.
I don't know. Bearings are the same. I know that. I don't know how much trucks cost.
20 to 40? I don't know. Whatever. we don't know what we're saying. It's fine.
We don't. That's the joy of doing this because like we're just a bunch of noobs. That's the same thing. I got the same vibe.
And bearings are the same. We use the same bearings, so
Same
bearings would
yeah.
have the same price.
Yeah, I ride skateboard bearings pretty much. It's like, but I was getting the same thing watching the Nine Club talk about it too because they were trying to talk about rollerblading and stuff, and they had no idea either. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, no, this is what you're talking about, whatever. Even like one of the guys was talking about, he's from Kansas City. He's like, yeah, actually, I grew up skating with this guy, Alex Broscow. He like was a pro rollerblader, and our crews used to skate together all the time. And he didn't even realize, or at least he didn't say anything, that Alex Broscow was in the edit that he was actually watching on the Nine Club, like the weekend edit. So certain things like that were pretty entertaining. And I found interesting that one of the guys also said, he was like, yeah, like I used to love skating spots that the rollerbladers skated because they would butter up the ledges so much. Like they would wax it up so much and they slid so good and they broke them in so nicely. And most of us would think it'd be the opposite because a lot of skateboarders don't like waxing stuff. And he said the complete opposite. So, I mean, I don't know if that's actually what they do think or whatever, but they had a lot of really good things to say about rollerblading with their limited knowledge that they had. It's pretty much what we're saying too.
Yeah, just the fact that they're open to it is cool. Step in the right direction. It's awesome.
It is.
And
do you think this is going to what do you think is going to come out of this?
I don't really know. And no, like, I don't mean to be offensive. I don't really care. Like, because I guess, okay, I do care. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I don't think it's necessarily going to lead to like this huge like everything's great between rollerblading and skateboarding. I don't know if it's gonna like lead to anything further between the two communities. Like I don't know. Like I tend to be a New York City cynical person.
Mm-hmm.
Try not to be.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it was cool to see. It is what it is. Anything moving forward, if it's done as well as that, it would be great to see.
Mm-hmm.
What I would wish for is that it led to less tension at the skate park. I think that would be like my ultimate wish, just for people to kind of, there are certain type of people that are happy to put people in groups and hate those groups. And I don't like those kind of people. And if that kind of stuff goes away, that'd be better. So that would be my hope. But who knows what will come of it? I'm sure there are some people that think it's great in the skateboarding community and some people that don't think it's too good, like maybe don't like it. I don't know. I would just assume,
No one
but
knows.
I don't know. But
Yeah.
I think it's yeah, blading is blading. It's its own thing. It's great, and skateboarding is its own thing, and it's cool to see them come together. And I guess we're both just gonna keep doing our own thing, and if there's more of it and it's done that well, I'd love to see it. It was
Hmm.
awesome.
Yeah, I pretty much was going to say the identical thing that you're saying. I don't think there's going to be much of a difference as far as like the industries are concerned, and there might not even be more collaborations in the future at all. Like you might not ever see another skateboarding, rollerblading edit again after this. But if anything does come of this, I do think that it is just like you said, less tension at the skate park. Maybe more skateboarders would be more accepting the rollerbladers, and vice versa. We'll be able to, even though I've never really had a problem with that, I've always been cool with the skateboarders that I see on a daily basis. But I know there's other
It's
places like in
different.
California where it's not
It's
like
different
that.
culturally from New York to like San Diego or San Francisco.
Yeah.
There's like it's
It,
different.
yeah, I don't understand that either because like the Saturday of the Blading Cup, I was at the parking lot talking to somebody and I was like, hey, I might skate Tustin in the morning to skate park. If you're gonna go, oh, if I'm gonna go, come through. And he's like, oh, we went to Tustin this morning. We had some beef with some skateboarders, so we're gonna go to Centennial instead. And I was like, really? You had beef with skateboarders at Tustin? I'm surprised by that because rollerbladers skate there all the time. Yeah, all the time.
When was this?
This was Saturday morning. So they
Yeah, I
said they
mean
had beef with skateboarders there, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
well, that
But
just goes to show you that people are individuals,
yeah, it's just the person more than the sport itself.
and that's the takeaway.
Yes, it's the people
And
more
and,
than the
and, and
sport itself.
yeah, I mean, it seems like the weekend guys are cool.
Yeah,
I haven't met them,
yeah,
but from all available evidence, it seems like they're cool
yeah.
guys.
They get a
And
pass.
I'm sure in skateboarding there aren't some cool guys.
Yeah,
And in blading there, probably some cool guys.
hmm,
And there's some not cool guys. You know what I
yeah,
mean? That's just ultimately like is even though we are members of groups, we're also individuals. Like and individuals are humans and humans have the capacity to be good or bad.
hmm,
So if it's less bad, then that's good.
yeah. And on that note too, I did go to Tustin the next day, and there was like a couple skateboarders there. They were all talk to me. They were all really cool. So it is just like the person, not
Yeah.
the sport or anything
It's
like
always
that.
been that way.
You get a couple
Even
grumpy people.
even at the peak of whatever, like when they're making like the Big Brother things against rollerblading and like ads with like gay gay flags on rollerblade boots
Yeah,
in like print ads and skateboard magazines.
yeah,
Um, Even then, man, like skateboard, like there were really cool skateboarders in New York. New York just ended up being a cool place because I think it's a very individual to individual basis. Like we were Harold Hunter was always around, like Ron's brother sticking up for us, and there were people at like the local skate parks. Like we didn't know their names, but we would just see them every day for like years and be like, what up?" And they were just always, what up?" And
hmm,
show respect, give respect, you get it. That's a nice model for society to run on. You
yes.
offer respect, you receive
No matter what you
respect.
do.
Yeah, and so I've always found that that's been there. Like
Mhm.
in my experience,
Same
you
thing
know
with
what I
me too.
mean. Granted, I'm sure the bigger the group, the more inclined a weaker person is to be loud or start problems. But
Hmm.
usually on an individual to individual basis, humans are humans, and it's just about offering respect and getting it back. I've never had growing up in New York. I never had these problems, to be honest.
Yep.
I never
Me
really
neither.
found it. But
Sa-
I didn't grow up when I came to San Diego and SF and certain places. The Potrero. You feel it. And it is different. And I just hope for the younger generation that stuff kind of goes away
mhm.
because that's some bogus boomer nonsense, man. It's like
It is.
it's really it's like grandpa like old hater grandpa stuff. I don't know. It's time. It's just old.
Yeah. The skateboarding and rollerblading topic has been one of my least favorite topics to discuss
Right.
forever, but now it's actually finally good to talk about it in a
Well, it's a good
different
thing.
sense. Yes,
Yeah. I
exactly.
mean, well,
Now it's
yeah,
a
it's a
good
good thing.
thing. But
Yeah.
the whole beef thing is like my least favorite topic in skating
Same.
since day one. So I'm happy to be able to talk about it in a different way. And
Right.
I'm glad that these guys got together to do this and shed some light on the situation, make us laugh a little bit, entertain us, and now we can move on in the future doing what we're doing.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just wheels.
It's just exactly like I said, and it's just wheels.
Just wheels, baby.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We actually have a lot of people in the chat right now. If you are watching live, please like the video. Make sure you subscribe to us so you get notified every time we do go live and we post a new video. Do we open it up for questions? Do people have questions? Should we do that for a little bit, maybe?
No. I think it's a perfect place to end it. I have a ton of work I got to do today, and I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
But we'll catch up. I think we might try to do something again this week.
Yes.
Because we kind of we missed a few weeks because of the Blading Cup and everything that happened thereafter. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate you very much. As Austin said, if you're watching us live, if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit the like and subscribe button. It's very helpful to us. Shout out to our sponsor, Rollerblade. Sorry, Blank. Sorry, Blank. I blanked. Sorry about that.
You blanked. Check out that 2023 Pigeon Blue Team Skate and go check out blankrollingproducts.com for more info on the skate. The skates are available now worldwide in all sizes, so go check it out. And yeah, I guess we'll see you on the next episode. Does that sound good?
Yeah. See you on the next episode.
Thank you all for joining us. Have a splendid day. We'll see you soon, everyone. Peace.